city of Würzburg, where in 1895, Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays. His bust in the famous German museum in Munich is in recognition of his gift to the world. Here is his first X-ray tube. All man has benefited from this marvelous invention which has never been patented. This diagram shows you how a modern X-ray tube operates. The electrons are boiled in a hot filament. A very high voltage causes them to fly almost as fast as light to the positive and null target. It results in conduction of X-rays. Those invisible rays. A surgeon inspects a bone fracture. Rays readily penetrate the flesh. He sees only the bone's shadow. The X-ray picture gives the dentist valuable aid for the treatment of our teeth. A buckshot wound in the Incidentally, there's the right. Notice the safety pin which holds the bandage. An unusual picture of gallstones. The modern engineer uses portable X-ray equipment to detect flaws in metal. To protect the operators, the tube is put in special holders. It is then mounted on one side, the photographic film on the other. This picture of a welded joint shows irregularities on the left side, and on the right, the uniformity of almost perfect work. Frequently, the X-ray is of great assistance to the art collector. In this case, X-rays reveal there were really two pictures painted on the same canvas. Recent developments have produced more powerful X-ray tubes, like this one, with a spinning target. It is rated at over 10 horsepower. Such tubes make a fluorescent screen just bright enough to be photographed. The arrangement is shown in this diagram. The X-rays from the tube penetrate the man and cause the screen to fluoresce. The shadowgraph on the screen is caught by the camera. The operator is protected from the X-rays by a thick wall of lead. Using the most powerful of the recently developed ultra-high-speed lenses, which are 40 times as fast as the new ordinary camera lens, and increasing the shutter speed of the camera, it is now possible to make moving X-ray pictures. These pictures of living mice disclose with amazing clarity the details of their inner structures, even to the tips of their tails. In this picture of a cat, notice particularly the movement of the vertebrae. A fully developed egg in the hen's body answers the old question, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? And we X-ray a monkey. A single picture would leave entirely to our own imagination the functioning of the various joints and the freedom of movement of the internal organs. With movies such as these, we can now study the living body, even in rapid action. You will notice in this amusing picture how clearly you can see practically all of the bone structures and observe its relative motions. We see the outline of the lung cavity and the shadow of the diaphragm. The small round ball is his heart. The largest shadow of the stomach remains horizontal at all times. Our own bodies, with their ingenious and complex bone structure, is a symphony of movement. The hands in action are really wonderful. Notice the little bones, especially in the wrist when knitting and crocheting. And now the arm and elbow joint in motion. The knee in action. See how free the kneecap is from the other bones and how it relatively moves over a great distance. The muscles that hold it are hardly visible. The danger of long X-ray exposure prohibits a study like this by direct fluoroscopic examination. But with X-ray movies, we can look at what happened as long and as many times as we wish. The shoulder presents one of our best universal joints. Here we see how general freedom of movement is provided by an arrangement of ball and socket. The foot presents some of the most delicate and complicated bone structures. With the X-rays, we observe the functioning of the component parts of this intricate arrangement. If we have nails in our shoes, they look like the trick of a Hindu fakir in the X-rays. It's a good thing we have a thick leather sole in between. Notice the transparency of the wood and gut strings of these instruments as compared to the bones, the ring, and the metal strings. And here is proof that beauty is only skin deep. From the standpoint of beauty, all of us will prefer the ordinary camera to the all-revealing X-rays, although a glimpse beneath the surface is very interesting. Here we see the relative transparency to X-rays of various materials, such as the metal back and rubber teeth of the comb, the parts of the pendant earrings, the metal back mirror with its celluloid handle, and the lip rouge in its metal case. The vital processes are of greater interest. Here we see the chest cavity and the diaphragm of a man. Man almost always breathes by moving the diaphragm. Women, however, breathe almost exclusively by moving their ribs. In previous pictures, the bronchial tubes and the lungs cast no shadow. In this picture of a cat, we follow the path of a dense substance as it passes through the bronchial tubes. Thus we see the distribution of air as it fills the lungs. This is the way we chew. Using materials which the X-ray cannot penetrate, we can follow the stages of chewing and swallowing. As skin and muscles cast no shadow, it is not possible to see the stomach and intestines. We therefore swallow substances which the X-ray cannot penetrate, and in this way outline the digestive tract. If we have indigestion, our physician may have us swallow some of this specially prepared liquid so that he can follow its action. The X-ray movies let us see what he would observe as the liquid is swallowed, flows into the stomach, and is then passed on in small quantities to the intestines. In the intestines, the digestive process continues. Observe the constant kneading and mixing of the food being digested as it passes on its way through the various parts of this wonderful chemical plant. The heart at work. Heretofore, only physicians and surgeons in their laboratories could see this vital organ. We see it now beating normally. Now we take a runner and see how the athletic strain has affected the heart. The wonder continues. The sound of the beating heart, heard only by the physician with his stethoscope, has been amplified thousands of times. We see the heart, and still more fantastic, we hear it beat.